Okay, so good morning, everyone. On this beautiful day, I'm going to talk to you about, first, I'm going to ask you, what can you define minority is? Minority? Anyone?
A group of people who's smaller than another group.
Yes, that's exactly. And I'm going to make an example of what minority is, and I actually don't have to make some like huge example. I can actually use an example from this room. Like right now, there are around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 Indonesians, and then there are Miss Liz, a UK citizen, right? And that's already an example of a minority because she's less than the rest of the people in this room. So, wait, sorry, I forgot. And the actual definition of minority, which I totally didn't Google before, is the smaller number, especially a number that is less than half of a number. So that's confusing. I don't understand that as well, but that's what I read. And now I actually want to talk to you about the condition of the minority in my country, our country, not in UK. So it's actually not a rare occasion where, you know, when you're sitting like maybe in a restaurant or something and then you see a foreigner and maybe you hang out with your friends and then you just tap them on the shoulder like, that's a foreigner. Or that's what, and in Indonesia we call foreigners bule, bule, and it's not something offensive. It literally means, you know, a foreigner. And that's not something to be guilty of because I do that as well, like a lot of time, like, you know, because we can be honest that it's a rarity to see a foreigner, so there's just something unique and we just have to point them out. But the actual reason why I want to talk about how we treat minorities is because one day my cousin was, you know, visiting my house and we were just having a chat with my parents. And my cousin, who is actually in college right now, he has a side job, and that side job is actually, okay, this is gonna be hard to say, online motorbike taxi, which is what we call in Indonesia, Gojek. Maybe in UK, you know, Uber, right? Uber, when you order a driver to pick you up around. Yeah, that's. But in Indonesia, we have a motorbike version, which is called Gojek. And my cousin is one of the Gojek drivers. So he was telling us his experiences like, one night, because he was a guy, he was very, one night I was, you know, I wasn't doing anything. So, and then I got an order at midnight. And when I got the order, it was actually a black man. So it's a foreigner. And my parents were there when they were hearing the stories. And my parents were very, very shocked, like, oh, a black man at midnight? Why were you doing that? Like, they were very, very, you know, because I'm going to be honest, my parents they rarely, you know, they don't have the bigger view of what the world is. They only see from media. And you know how, I'm sure all of you experienced it themselves, how, black people are portrayed in the mass media. It's usually not a good thing, but of course there are some, because my mom likes Beyonce, so I think that's just a bit of stereotype. But I think one of the problems that we have to conquer this, you know, this treatment to minorities is first the lack of, the amount of ignorance, because, you know, when we think about people who are treated that way, we just think, oh, that person is being treated that way and that doesn't affect me, so why should I care? See, that's one of the big problems that we have. And then the second one, the lack of knowing the minorities around you, because usually when we go to malls and because we're students, the place that we go to the most is of course school, and there's obviously, not obviously, according to the school you go, because lab school is actually not, it doesn't have many like, you know, varieties of people, like most of them are Indonesians. But I remember that a second grader was actually a foreigner, and her name was Isabel. And of course, being a new student there, and then seeing, oh my God, there's a foreigner student, and her name is Isabella. Whenever we saw, my friends and I saw her at the canteen, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It just, I don't know, it's just something different. While actually, she's just a student who's from another country, and that's it. I don't know what's so different from us, and what, no, that's actually, sorry. Actually, what I want you to do is not see them as us, because that's basically that's basically me telling all of you to be blind, because of course foreigners are different, and the thing that we have to do is not see them the same as us, but treat them the same as us, and actually accept that difference, and not make it like we're all the same. That's actually the wrong thing to do. And of course, the third one is stereotypes, which is, I think, the most hardest one of the harder ones to conquer, because of mass media and all of the technology around us that makes us that gains us more access to bigger medias. And from like, usually when you see an Asian in a movie, he's either a geek or a nerd, which is basically the same thing, but that's basically what Asians are in most movies. So it's kind of hard to erase that mindset, because we've seen, because movies like that we've seen from kids until now. And then, of course, the last one is the lack of realization that you are the one doing this, because we are the majority in our country. We are Indonesians, and without us realizing that, oh, I'm the one in guilt, so I should be the one who's, realizing that minorities around me are not treated well enough for them to actually be comfortable in our own country. So that's my last point, and I think that's all I've got for today. Thank you.